Guantánamo Bay and the torture and abuse. We are living in the 21st century. We are not living in the Middle Ages.
The CIA report into torture and rendition. A lot of that report was redacted. Redacted because our own politicians met with the people investigating that or writing that report to get all of the bits about MI5 and MI6 blacked out. They don't want us to know about what our own security services were involved in. Because the UK involvement in rendition and torture and Guantánamo goes much wider than MI5 and MI6. When we look at MI5 and MI6 involvement, or what we know about it, it's convenient for the government because they can put it down to a few bad apples. Oh, so-and-so got pulled into an interrogation room and he didn't know what was going to happen. And he saw the torture going on, but after that we made an arrangement that our agents wouldn't witness the torture. So it's quite a handy little story. What we do know about MI5 and MI6, we can just pass off as, oh, we didn't know at the time, or we've changed our procedures. But this is only a small part of the picture. The British and American military are responsible for the internment and torture of thousands of individuals in Iraq and Afghanistan. The MOD in 2008 and 2009 conducted their own inquiry, internal inquiry into this. And they came out with one incident when I think 2 Pakistani men were rendered from Baghdad to Afghanistan. And they said that this was all there was to know about the British Army's involvement in rendition and torture and internment. But it's much wider than that. What I want to know or see in the public is about Camp Nama, a base at Baghdad International Airport where hundreds of men were tortured, which was guarded by members of the Royal Air Force, where people detained by British forces were held and tortured. And we need to pressure our governments into investigating and revealing our true involvement on all of this, because Guantánamo is the tip of the iceberg. It's right that we're here outside the US Embassy, but we could quite easily be outside of Downing Street. We are equally involved in this. Another argument I've heard is that the British involvement in torture and rendition is a post-9/11 phenomenon. We have been involved in this right back through history, but even if we just look at post-World War II, Malaya, Kenya, Cyprus, Northern Ireland, all places where we interned and tortured people. Only before Christmas I was over in Northern Ireland. I met with former IRA men. All of the men I met were interned without charge, without trial, some of them tortured, when they were 16, 17, 18. And we wonder why those men went on to become IRA volunteers. The same process is going on today. An interview with one of the top guys in ISIS that appeared in The Guardian. In that interview he claimed that of the 25 men who are running ISIS, 17 of them went through US detention in Iraq. And that is because when you intern and detain large numbers of men, there is a possibility that they radicalise, that they start to organise and start to plan what they might do to get their revenge once they get out of prison. And we knew this. We knew this in Iraq because it's exactly what happened in Northern Ireland. But still we carried this out. What they do is they radicalise young men. They make young men hate us. But it's wider than that. The populations that these men are taken from begin to hate us as well. And what that produces is something called blowback. And this is something that the CIA, this is a CIA definition. When you muck around in other people's countries, when you bomb them, destroy their homes, destroy their infrastructure, torture their men, people get angry. And then we see attacks back on ourselves. And we can't ignore this, we can't pretend that this doesn't happen, that people hate us as a result of our actions. Not because they hate freedom or democracy, but they hate having their homes raided. They hate seeing their mails being dragged out, not knowing when they might come back. We need to continue to campaign until the true nature of our state, the United Kingdom, and the United States is revealed. And it's not just about Guantánamo. The true nature of the United Kingdom is that we are a militaristic country who thinks nothing of invading other countries, who thinks nothing of interning people, torturing people to achieve our aims. And we must reveal that at every possible opportunity.